All right, guys, so here's the notes for multiplying polynomials by a monomial. So before, in what we did this week, is we worked with exponents. So remember, when you're multiplying, you add the exponents, dividing, you subtract the exponents, and all of that. So this right here is a review of what we've done. Remember that you start with your big numbers, 18 times 3. So I don't have a calculator, so let me do this real quick. 4, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that gives me 54. From here, you look at your variables. We're going to start with x. So I have 3 x's here, and I have 8 here. So we're multiplying. We're going to add those, 8, 9, 10, 11. Then I have my y's. I have 2 y's here and 6 here, so that gives me y to the 8th. And then my last variable, I have 1z. Remember, if there's nothing there, it's just 1. And then z to the 4th, so we have z to the 5th. So that would be our final answer when we're multiplying. All right, so that's kind of what you're going to be doing today as well, except what we have is what's called a monomial. That means one term. So a monomial means one term. A polynomial is when you have multi-terms. So you have more than, let's say, more than 3. Okay. So all we're going to do here is we're going to distribute. So we're going to take this 3x right here, and we're going to have to distribute it to everything inside. So we have 3x times 2x squared plus 3x times 7x plus 3x times negative 5. So we're taking that 3x and we have to give it to everything inside the parentheses. We're multiplying. So from here, you just multiply. 3 times 2 is 6. And then what do we do with the exponents? We add them. Remember, this is 1, so we have 3 x's here. The next group right here, we have 3 times 7, which is 21. And how many x's do we have? We have 2. And then right here, we have 3 times negative 5, so negative 15. And we only have 1 x. Then you look at, can you combine any of these? No, because they're not the same variable with the same exponent. So that would be your final answer there. Okay, on number 3, we are distributing the 5a squared. So we're going to multiply 5a squared times everything inside. So that gives me 5a squared times 4a plus 5a squared times negative a squared b cubed, and then plus 5a squared times negative 2b to the 4th. And then from there, you're going to multiply. 5 times 4 is 20. And then how many a's do we have? I have 2 here and I have 1 here, so I have 3. And then we multiply here. This is a negative 1. So I have 5 times negative 1. That changes that to a negative 5. I have 2 a's and 2 a's, so I have 4 a's altogether. And then I just bring down that b to the 3rd because I don't have anything to add to it. In our last term, we have 5 times negative 2. That's negative 10. And then I have 6 a's total. I can't combine anything because they're not like terms, so that would be my final answer. All right, so what I want you to do is go ahead and try number 5. Pause this video, try number 5, and then come back and check your answer. Make sure that you get the same thing. All right, so we are distributing 4m cubed p squared, so I'm going to multiply that. That gives me 4 times 8 is 32, and I have 3 m's here and 1 here, so m to the 4th. 2 p's here, 1 here, so I have 3 p's. Then I have to multiply that times the next one. So I have 4 times 3, that's 12. I have I have m to the 3rd, p squared, and w. There's nothing I can combine because they're not the same. Then I multiply it by the last one. 4 times -4 is -16. And I bring down M3P2 because there's nothing to add to it. That will be your final answer. Okay, on number 4, we actually have two things going on here. So as you can see, we have 7x squared times this, and then plus 3 times this. So I'm going to multiply those separately, and then I will add them together. So here I'm going to multiply 7x cubed times 5xy, so 7 times 5 is 35. And then I add my x's. I have 3 plus 1, so 4, and then y. And then I'm going to multiply 7x cubed times -6, so that's negative 42x to the third. There's nothing I can do past that. So I'm going to go ahead and multiply -3 times y to the fifth and 3 times z. Now I got to look, do I have anything that's like terms? No, so I'm just going to leave it how it is. That will be my final answer. All right, number 6, we're going to do the same thing. So we have two things going on here. We have -2 being multiplied through this parentheses and -1x times this parentheses. So we're going to do two separate things and see if we can add anything together. So here I have -2 times 4x squared, so that's -8x squared. -2 times 5x, which is -10x. Then I'm going to distribute, this is a -1, so -1 times x squared is just -1x to the third, because we're just adding our exponents. -1 times 6x is -6x squared, because we have 1 here and 1 here. Now, is there anything that I can combine? Yes. I have 8x squared here, -8, and I have -6x squared here. Same variable, same exponent, like terms, I can add those together. I'm going to bring down this -1x cubed first because that's the biggest exponent. Then I'm going to combine these. That's -14x squared. And then bring down my -10x. I want these in what's called descending order. So I want it from the greatest exponent to the smallest exponent. Okay, so when we order them, we want to go from the biggest exponent to the smallest. All right, last one. Go ahead and pause the video, try it on your own, and then come back and see if you got it right. So here I have 4a cubed. I'm going to multiply it by a, so that gives me 4a to the fourth, because I have 1 here. And then I'm going to multiply 4a cubed times that. That gives me plus 4a to the fourth, and then b. Okay, then over here I'm going to multiply 5b times a squared, so that's 5a squared b. I like to put my variables in alphabetical order. It makes it a lot easier to organize. And then I have 5b times negative, so that gives me a -5b squared. So looking at here, I don't have anything because that's a to the fourth. That's a to the fourth b, a squared b. Like there's nothing I can add together, so that's going to be my final answer. They have to be exactly the same. So like here, I have a to the fourth, and this is a squared. So those are not like terms, so you can't add those together. All right, so there is a practice posted, and then you will have a Delta Math to do tomorrow.